Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at some 3D printed upgrades for your rocket pods, for your Rattler and your Dragonfly. Now these were made by 44D2, and this is what they look like. And yes, these are all removable. All the rockets come out, and they can either be used with your Rattler, or he's made an attachment that also goes onto the Dragonfly. So 44D2 right there. I'm going to leave a link in the description to his Instagram and also to his eBay page, so you can go check these out if it's something that you're going to be interested in. Again, these are really cool, and what you're going to see is I'm going to compare them to the rocket pods that come with the Rattler, and I'm also going to show you the rocket pods that come with the Dragonfly. These are made to go with the Rattler, so they're a little bit different than the Dragonfly, but again, you're doing upgrades, you're trying to make it look a little bit different. Well, that's what I'm going to show you, and you can see if this is something that you want to invest in. Again, these things are already, what, $275 that one was, this one was $325, so they're already expensive. So it also may be like, hey, so what, I'm going to add an extra 30 or 40 bucks onto it. I'm going to show you how it's packed, everything that comes with it, how it all goes together. It's really not going to take very long, but these are just really cool, and I think that this was worth doing a review to show you guys a way to upgrade your vehicles, just to give it your own little kick to it, but just to give some sort of new effect to it. But anyway, let's get into this. No one wants to continue to look at me, although you may want to continue to look at the Rattler getting shot there. But anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of stuff, you like when I drop 3D printed stuff from different designers, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop some sort of 3D printed weapon, vehicle, whatever. All right, I got everything out, and yes, I've already assembled everything because I wanted to make sure that it was good. I'm not going to sit there and do a review and destroy someone if they made something that was half-ass. I've got two of these. I'm very impressed with them, and I think you're going to like them. So first and foremost, it comes in a post office, or a postal service, a box, so you don't have to worry about it getting damaged unless if they ruin it. And yes, everything is wrapped in bubble wrap, so there's a lot of care taken into this. He also will give you instructions, all right, on everything. All right, so if you're wondering, again, this is way more than a lot of the 3D printers will do. They just send stuff out to you and it's like, hey, figure it out on your own. I'm not a big fan of that. I like that he does something like this. It just tells that he has care. So what we're looking at here quickly is, this is the pods that come with the Rattler, and this is the pods that come with the Dragonfly. This is the connector for the Rattler, and again, you're like, why do you have an extra one? Well, if you have it up on the base, you can't put the bottom ones on, so you're going to have a couple extra. All right, so what comes with everything is you're going to get two of these with 5 rockets in each one, and then you get 4 of these rockets. Now you can see they're already up here, and obviously they're right, oops, that's not the wrong one, right there too. All right, so you can kind of see them blasting off right there, and I'll show you everything. So you can get 4 of these, 2 for each rocket pod, and then you're going to get 1 long blast effect, 1 short one, and then these are the flares that pop out, and yes, they are different. You have a shorter one and a longer one. Obviously, same with the rocket blast, as you can see. You're also going to get 2 of these. All right, now this is so you can attach it to the Dragonfly. So quickly, what we're going to look at is, this is the actual rocket pod, and since it's supposed to go with the Rattler, I'm going to compare the two. So if you look at them here, again, 3D printed, so you are going to have some lines in it, but the lines don't look bad. You're really not going to notice because everything's going to be focused on the blast effects. So, looking at them here, you can see he created the gray that goes around, a little bit different. Again, I don't think that's going to be anything that's going to bother anyone. All right, he has lines here, rather than, they just have them right on what would be considered the bottom. But again, I don't think that's going to kill anyone or bother anyone. They are meant to be a little bit different. Here's how they're going to connect. as you can see. Hasbro went with this like hexagon right here. I think that's so it doesn't wear down as much. His are just round holes, but they peg in perfectly fine. All right, inside you have these 5 rockets, and to get the rockets out, all right, they are stuck in there. You can push them. Some of them will come out. Other ones will have a little bit more resistance because the back is meant to be just a little bit wider so they connect in. But I just pushed them down like this, not a lot of pressure, and then each and every single one of them will slide out. All right, so I don't want that to roll away. So here's your rocket right here. It's just a silver rocket. It does have some lines in it, and again, these look really nice, but for the most part, you're not going to see these. These are going to be inside. These are the rockets that are going to be ejecting. Now, I can't explain why he decided to go with orange tip on the rockets that are firing, along with the spot right there. I think a lot of it has to do with once you start 3D printing different colors on it, what ends up happening is the layers don't completely fuse together, and sometimes they can snap off. It also becomes different widths and stuff like that, so it might make them harder to go into these. All right, but these aren't going to go in. But looking at these, okay, these are going to be injecting. You got the orange tip here, then you got your little orange here. This is a gray rocket, and then you have the wings or the tips, but I don't know what they're called, that are opening. Now, oddly enough, I just happened to watch some rockets firing. I was watching a thing on the Hueys, and when you see these come out, these actually open up. So this is, from what I can tell, accurate. So once they come out, they blast off. Then what you're looking at here, all right, is the long blast effect. All right, it actually goes in this way, so the rocket fits in here. All right, and then you're going to plug this in just like that, and you can see the nice detail on it where it looks like it's firing. It's somewhat translucent. Here's a shorter version of it, which I like the fact that they're different sizes for the aesthetic, and also then they don't fully get in the way. All right, and there's the flare blasting out, and then you get the longer flare. All right, now I don't know if you can plug. Yeah, these don't plug in, so they're not meant to go into it. So quickly, even with the long rocket, this thing just kind of plugs directly into there. You don't have to worry about it falling off, and it's just going to sit there just that easy. Now, as you can see, you're going to have rockets firing out. In the instructions, he specifically tells you that these 2 holes right here, where you're going to plug this into, because of the length of this, if you can see in there, it gets in the way. So if you were to take one of these rockets, technically the rockets don't go this way anyway, it would actually, it'll smash into it. So the only way to have all the rockets inside of it is if you make some modification of this, or if you slowly bring this down, and again, be very careful, these are 3D printed, you'd have to have it just kind of sitting like that, all right? But you also don't have enough rockets for it. So there's always going to be 2 that are missing, but you can put 2 up there. What I have done, if you can see, I offset mine, because in theory, the 2 that are shooting out are supposed to be right here. So I've made it so at least 1 or 2 have already been fired, because when you try and put them next to each other, you'll see that there's somewhat of an issue, and I'll show you that right here. So if I try and put these 2 right next to each other, that's the wrong way. You can do it, but they're just kind of like right on top of each other. It's not the worst thing, but I like having them kind of offset. I remove one of the rockets. Again, I'm already firing, and the one really nice thing about the Rattler is obviously it has this door that opens up, or drawer. But you can kind of throw all those in there. And as for the rockets here, I shot the flare at me, they're just going to plug in like so. They slide in really nice. without any problems, just like that. All right. So again, you're going to get these ones sitting there like that. I take the long one, the long flare there. And let me grab this second one right here that I tended to shoot at me. And this one's going to go right there. So you don't have, it's not a problem to have them like this. I just like having them offset. Just my personal preference, all right? So, as you can see, this is the difference. And again, we already have all these blast effects, and I think this really makes it sets it off. It's firing multiple rockets at different, different angles and everything. So, we're going to kind of throw that right there. So you're asking like, all right, well, what is the thing with this? Well, first off, if you want to drop the bomb on this, you can actually put this down with the bomb. Now, I will say this is 3D printed. So one of the things is you have to watch this because the structure is weaker here because of how thin it is. So if you're to push this all the way down, you're going to have to use some sort of little prying knife just to pry it up. And then you're going to want to just kind of take your time and wiggle it out, all right? I'm not going to push this one all the way down because I don't plan on using it like that. But I just want to warn you if that's what you're going to do, all right? But when it comes to this here, this is the same thing, all right? When you go to slide this down here, no matter how far down you put it, you just want to be careful and take your time because you're going to want to pry it. You don't want to yank it from here. This will snap off. There is way too much tension, and a lot of it has to do with the lines. So as long as you take your time and you're pulling from the base, you shouldn't have any problems. If you absolutely needed to, you would have to heat it up. But if you do that, there's a good chance that this is going to get ruined. The rocket pod will probably be fine, but this will probably become a casualty of your battle. Now, for me, I'm going to be using this one solely for the Dragonfly, so I don't need to worry about it. I have another set for the Rattler already. So I'm just going to slide this all the way down. So you can see it slides down without a problem. Now, looking at the two, this is how the Dragonfly's rocket pod set. You can see it obviously has a lot more rockets. I don't know if he has any plans on doing it. I'm assuming with making an adaptation, he's not. It would be awesome if he did these also in black. But either way, if you want to change it out, again, those are a little bit longer. Not that big of a deal. Again, again, we're changing things. We're compromising our our HasLabs to make something new. So if you want to look here, let's see how well I can get it to look. The Dragonfly here, take this off. This is just going to slide right on out. Now, if this was to snap inside of it, it'd be kind of a pain, but I think some needle nose pliers, you could get that out. So, but this thing here is just going to pop right up there, no problem. All right, and then we're going to throw this on here. Now, I already used the rocket pods. To be 100% honest, I hate the 4 missile rockets I hate that rocket pod that comes with the Dragonfly, so I never have that one on there anyway. All right, and then I've already shown you how this comes on here. So if I can move this slightly, yeah, right. God, this thing is so big. Look at this. This is what you call moving 2 things at once. Okay, that ain't gonna work. But you guys are getting the gist of it, right? We're gonna move this here. I can show you. So this is exactly how the rocket looks. Again, this is just gonna slide right on down. And if you don't have the Rattler or you haven't opened yours yet, you have to be very careful with this. I should probably remove the blast effects so I don't worry about snapping one. But this whole unit will eventually come off. I feel like I'm going to snap something looking at it this way. So again, that's how that just kind of pops right in there. And again, as long as you take your time and slowly remove it, you shouldn't have any issues with this. All right, so that's going to go right in there. Again, you can't put the rockets on top, and that's the reason why he only gives you 5. All right, unless you want to do some modification. Again, if you wanted to get the 2 extra ones or the 4 extra ones, you probably have to contact him. But these things just kind of pop on there, and then you know how this goes in up on the bottom here. All right, so that is a quick look at 44D2's rocket pod accessories, 3D printed for the Dragonfly and for the Rattler. You know what? I kind of hate not having this on. Look at that. You got to have that on all the time, and then you got to drop that one. I know people say, who needed lights? Dude, I needed lights. The lights are awesome. Anyway, let's wrap this up. All right, there you go. That is the 3D printed rocket pods for the Rattler and for the Dragonfly, made by 44D2. Again, you've probably seen this guy in my chats, or you've seen him on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on YouTube and other people's chats. This is the first time that I've gotten anything from him. I think they're wonderful because it doesn't modify anything. I put them on, awesome. I decided to ever get rid of these, or I just want it to look just classic and be exactly what the HasLab was supposed to come with. I haven't made any alterations to it. I didn't have to pop anything off. I didn't have to break anything. I didn't have to just snap anything off. Boom, just pops on. Absolutely awesome. And it's something very small that I think makes a huge deal when you're looking at doing different types of photography or just sitting in your display. I really like them, and they seem like they're well made. That's the biggest thing. I would not be sitting here promoting, and I think people know this, I would not be giving someone praise or giving something praise that I don't think is all that good. I said before, I'm not doing reviews to destroy people, contrary to what some people tend to think for some reason. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you in the description, you go there, check him out. Maybe you don't buy him, but just see what he has. Maybe shoot him a message. Ask him, hey, you know what, are you doing something about this? Are you making something for this? Again, I love seeing these 3D printers that are making stuff to enhance some of the stuff that we've already gotten. And what I mean by that is give me some more blast effects for the rockets and the missiles that we're not getting. I'm talking about with the MMS and the HMS. I need better rockets. And you know what, Hasbro, if you're listening, I wish you would have made the lights stay on a little bit longer. I mean, even the Dragonfly's still on, and I hit that one first. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much. Please, if you like this type of stuff, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a 3D printed product. Now don't go anywhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you another 3D printed stuff, the review right here, and down here will be a playlist of all the 3D printed stuff I've done or something like that. Take care.